New developments. The fraud scandal in Minnesota escalating over the weekend. Both Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and State Representative Ilhan Omar publicly speaking out regarding the widespread alleged scheme allegedly orchestrated by Somali asylum seekers. The national news desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. And both Bessent and Omar, they appeared on Face the Nation, Jeff. But the two, of course, as you can expect, relayed much different messages to the American people. Break down what we know.
So Bessent spent much of the interview on his end discussing the Treasury Department's investigation, which includes whether taxpayer money went to terrorist organizations in Somalia. Omar, who's part of the Somali community, responding to those comments, saying it would be a failure of the FBI if that did in fact happen. Over the weekend, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent calling out Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar for her response about the allegations of widespread fraud from the state's Somali community, the largest in the nation, and potential link to terrorist organizations.
Representative Omar tried to downplay it, said, "Oh, it was very, it was very tough to know how this money should be used." Yeah. She was gaslighting the American people.
Meanwhile, Omar pushing back, saying any connection between alleged Somali fraud and terrorism would fall on the FBI.
If there was a linkage in the money that they had stolen going to terrorism, then that is a failure of the FBI.
This fraud investigation dates back to 2022 when the Biden administration filed charges in connection to what they called the largest pandemic fraud in the U.S. Bessent saying he was asked last week to investigate whether Minnesota's tax dollars made its way to terrorist organizations linked to Somalia.
That money has gone overseas, and we are tracking that both to the Middle East and to Somalia.
Minnesota is currently dealing with multiple fraud scandals totaling over $1 billion in stolen taxpayer funds, including nearly $300 million from the nonprofit Feeding Our Future. Omar's campaign receiving donations from people charged in that scheme, donations she says have since been returned.
We obviously had people who were able to donate to our campaign that were involved. We send that money back.
Now, the House Oversight Committee announcing last week it's also opening an investigation into the fraud in Minnesota. Chairman James Comer saying whistleblowers were ignored.
That this fraud was taking place and that both the Attorney General and the governor of Minnesota turned a blind eye to it.
Meanwhile, Republican Senator John Kennedy also weighing in on the Senate floor last week, calling the fraud case, quote, a clown world on steroids.
It makes me want to knee someone in the groin. It just makes me furious.
Now, a total of 87 people have been charged across all the main fraud cases here, all but 8 being of Somali descent, with 61 convictions secured so far. Amy Bach, founder of Feeding Our Future and the alleged mastermind of that scheme, was found guilty on all counts and right now is awaiting sentencing. Reporting for the National News Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.